Good evening, and welcome to another haphazard and run-of-the-mill episode of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. And now here's your perceptive and insightful host, Voice of Doom. All right. Hello. And I'm going to do a little evening diatribe, a little bit inebriated, but I will try. Put together some disjointed and disparate subjects and try to tie it together in a neat little bow. So I watch the news, and we're between disasters. There will be more to come, but for now, we're only dealing with the past disasters. And so I will just try to catch up. It is very difficult because the catastrophes come so hot and heavy that it's hard to actually comment. And I've noticed that a lot of these touts have been trying to catch up with me, and I noticed they're catching up with what I said 2 weeks ago, but nobody knows that because they don't watch what I do. But I wanted to discuss the current doldrums of non-catastrophe. So today we say goodbye to General Colin Powell. He was a good man, and I endorse his existence. And I know that he was very good at playing both sides of the field. And I think everybody can agree that his passing is, to be commemorated. Now, I won't say it's tragic because he was 83 or 84, and he died of complications due to the COVID virus. Now, I want to talk about Colin Powell. And I don't know him personally, and I don't have anything against him. And I just know that when people say he was the first black Secretary of State, as if, it's some sort of it's a milestone. Yes, okay, we broke a black ceiling or glass ceiling or what have you. People are people, and people have talent, and they rise up to whatever they want to rise up to. And if Colin Powell went from a 4 or 5-star general or whatever the hell he was, and then goes up to Secretary of State, and he earned it. And he earned, you look at his complexion, he's no darker than most of the people he's with. So what do you want to do? Look at more minute characteristics like, oh, he has kinky hair, oh, he has a wide nose, come on. This was crap if he was the first black Secretary of State. He was the Secretary of State. He did his best. But what I do remember is after the buildings came down, and he was the first one on the television set the next day, which would be a Wednesday morning, and maybe even before that, he was saying, yeah, we know who did it, and we know who they are, and I found that a bit suspicious. And I've always been suspicious because not only did General Colin Powell know that, Al-Qaeda were the perpetrators of this diabolical scheme that was brilliant, one of the best attacks in the history of warfare. And I'm not giving him credit, I'm just giving him credit. It's brilliant. And he said right out of the box it was Al-Qaeda. And not only that, but they had all the pictures of the hijackers of the 9/11 debacle catastrophe. They had all their pictures in the paper within less than 24 hours after the attack. So I was right away, when something big like that happens, the first thing a person like me will think is, what's really going on? And when they had all those pictures up right away, I was suspicious. And I know that General Colin Powell was a man of high honor, and I won't disparage that. And I will say that he will go down in history as a person who everybody will commemorate and admire, because he was a semi-staunch Republican, and he worked diligently with the Republican side when there was some serious things to deal with, and he did it. And then when things went a different way, he was not a fan of Donald J. Trump. And everybody knows that, for whatever reason. I have my own theories about that, but they're too esoteric for most people to grasp. But that's why most people will honor him. Now, he could be a villain in one tribe's eyes, and he could be an absolute idol in another tribe's eyes, but the way he, lived his life, I think everybody can just simply honor his existence and what he tried to do, and I will give him credit for his intentions, and I won't go too further into that because I've had a few. But I will say, when they said, weapons of mass destruction, I did not care about bombs. I cared about the person. And I said, get rid of him. He is the weapon. So I really didn't care if GW was lying or not about mass destruction. The person in the position to do damage is the weapon. So I'm not going to, crawl into the arena about that. But, Colin Powell was a good person. Now, apparently he passed away from complications connected with the COVID virus. So it's obvious that he probably got pneumonia, which is a byproduct of the COVID virus. Now, he was vaccinated. He was fully vaccinated. And he died of complications connected to the COVID virus. And his wife also, I've heard just in the past 5-10 minutes, contracted the virus. And how she's doing, I don't know, but the conditions connected with the COVID virus can be pneumonia, it can be congestive heart failure, it could be a lot of things. And you could, they die of things that people ordinarily die of. My grandfather died very young, 62, of a stroke. He had all kinds of ailments. And my father died of lung cancer. My other grandfather died of something else. I mean, they die of things. They didn't say, it was because of this, germ in the air that caused the whole thing. Now, they're using this COVID very effectively to not only scare everybody, but to coerce and to say, General Colin Powell died of complications due to the COVID virus, which means he died of pneumonia, which means he died because he was 84 and his immune system was weaker. People die. Now, people want to cancel death. Good luck. Good luck, all you liberals and leftists that want to cancel death because, if we could just get rid of the COVID virus, then no one will die. Well, I want to ask myself, how did General Colin Powell get the virus? He was fully vaccinated. So it must have been those dastardly non-vaxxers that gave it to him, which seems to negate the whole idea of why they got vaccinations in the first place. And I'm not going to go too much into that, because if everybody can't see what's kind of going on with, they're talking about boosters and cross products. I don't know what they call it. I'll get into that later. I don't want to get into it. Can you get a booster from Johnson & Johnson if you had a vaccine from wherever? I don't know all of them. I mean, they're going to get into boosters. And I told you in my other episodes that they're going to need boosters every year, because if they think that this is over, they're sadly mistaken. Because not only are there about 180 more variants of COVID itself, but there's another little thing coming around the corner that's going to make people even more scared. And then we're really going to clamp down, and you're going to see some real draconian slam downs, because people are it's going to be like The Stand. Now, I want to just do a little postscript about paternity leave and how many barges are sitting there rotting in the harbor. Now, people are very worried about Christmas because the barges are not being unloaded with the Chinese merchandise that they've been waiting for to give to their kids to celebrate the highest of holy holidays. So, we need a Secretary of Transportation that can get down and do this. And right now, the Secretary of Transportation is is raising 2 small infants with his husband. And that's all well and good, but I can't not be a cynic and say this is all a publicity stunt, that this person who has a very high position in the administration is suddenly going to be out for 2 months because he has to help take care of his 2 infant babies that he adopted with his husband. And you can look at it and go, yes, they have the best of intentions, but the timing. You talk about the timing. First of all, you can't pick a worse time to say, I'm going to learn how to change diapers and learn how to use a breast pump on somebody else. I don't know. Go get Infamil. That's what we did. But as far as paternity leave, first of all, when I had my first kid, I told my wife, who had maternity stipends from the Bush administration, I said, take the money and then don't go back to work, because I didn't want her to have to give my first kid to the system and to give him to the, daycare when he's 2 months old. I said, we take care of our kid, and I'll work by myself, and we'll just have to scrimp and be frugal, and we'll have to get through it, because I don't want both of us working, because then we don't know who the hell's taking care of our kid. So that's the way it was. Now, if Buddigieg was true to his creed, he would turn his kids straight over to daycare, because his Messiah and his liege lord, Petri dish, has decreed that cradle to grave is the best way to go. So if they want to be symbolic, if they want to, have their 2 premature twins that they have to, struggle to take care of while they have many other things on their plate, then do what Peter just said. Take your 2 twins and take them to the daycare and have them take care of them. And I'm more than sure that the government apparatus will pay for all your expenses, because you are the Secretary of Transportation. And we got a lot of stupid barges out there that need to be moved, and you're busy trying to learn what, to do with, your newborn kids. And it's a project. And I will not go on much longer. I wanted to say more, but it's getting long, and I'll leave it at that. But when you have a kid, and you really have a kid out of your womb, you're worn out and you need help. And I couldn't help more than 2 or 3 days. I had to go back to work. And she had to start taking care of the newborn all by herself. And I knew she wasn't particularly feeling good, because after you push a head out of your genitals, it hurts. It takes a while to recuperate. So, take it from this what you will. I'm half out of it, so I'll leave it at that. I wish it was better. But thank you and good night.